Peace. My name is Jasiri X. I am co-founder and CEO of One Hood Media. One Hood Media are honored to be a part of the Wallace Foundation Arts Initiative, specifically designed to uplift arts organizations of color. One Hood Media is based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Our mission is to build liberated communities through art, education, and social justice. And one of the reasons why it's important to do this work in Pittsburgh is traditionally one of the poorest black communities in the country. In 2019, Pittsburgh was named one of the worst cities, or the worst city in America for a black woman to live. Obviously, that extends to arts and arts creators. And so for us, being here is an opportunity to give much needed resources and a platform to specifically artists of color, specifically those that do work around using their art to speak to issues of social justice, activism, and cultural organizing. Our lead on our project is our Director of Education, Jasmine Green. She's going to tell us a little bit more about our Artivist Academy.
And so again, my name is Jasmine Green. I'm the Director of Education here at One Hood. And so the Artivist Academy is a cohort of artists who are at the pinnacle of the intersection of arts and activism here in the Western PA region. This is a collection of artists between like 10 to 15 artists each year to 18 months. And it's supporting them and celebrating them in their craft. It's more celebrating their practice and not just projects. So it's also trying to provide a model for philanthropic organizations, institutions here in the city so that we can create a future in which we are supporting artists overall in a holistic means as opposed to just project-based means moving forward. Yeah.
Yes, these artists get an honorarium for participating in the program. They also get resources for professional development and to do a show in our theater here, which is called the Black Box. And so, yeah, it's been a dope project. You know, Farouk, you've been a part of, coalescing and kind of getting the artists together and choosing some of the artists in the program. What do you think about how the program works?
Yeah, no, it's super dope. In Pittsburgh, we have a very interesting landscape because it's the city with the most nonprofits per capita in the world, and philanthropy is such a marketable thing here. But oftentimes, black artists are siloed and prevented from getting resources and access to resources and pathways that, other white artists do. So what we do with the Artivist Academy is really give these artists and activists and just these creatives an opportunity to feel valued, but also to create free from the shackles of white supremacy and philanthropy, and under the parameters of like, you have to work, you have to produce work, you have to do something, at the drop of a dime. They really just kind of have the liberties to just create with freedom and free from oppression and just, really be their authentic selves.
Oh, that was beautiful. Miracle, we do deal with artists and activists. You're our Director of Advocacy and Policy. Speak to some of the issues that like organizers and activists face in Pittsburgh as well.
As Nina said, the role of an artist is to reflect the signs of the times. And as artists who are trying to talk about their lived experiences, sometimes they do come across barriers of where people do not want to hear what they have to say, see what they are creating, or even have the resources to live, right? We still have this idea of a struggling artist, which also means that our people are victimized by society, but they're also victimized and forgotten and exploited by the art industry. And the work that we do is not only validating artists in our community, but it's pouring into them. It's giving them an opportunity to breathe and to have a reset, to build community with other artists, and to talk about not only what's going on in their communities, but envision a better world, and to use art to ideate, as like we like to say here at One Hood, but also to just think about ways in which we all have what we need to live and thrive. So whether we're talking about water, whether we're talking about violence, police terror, whether we're talking about the housing crisis, we're able to do that here with these artists who are from our communities, who we're getting to know, and then we're able to have them go out and invite people from the community in. And it's a two-way street, right? Because we're building these artists, we're also bringing the community in and letting the community have the ability to see art, to engage in art, to learn about art. And that is why it's the Artivist Academy.
Absolutely. Our goal is to build a liberated community. And that's a community where we can be our full, authentic selves, in absence of white supremacy, patriarchy, and all those things that unfortunately now we're forced to navigate. And we believe that with art is really that first salvo in terms of changing people's minds, changing people's hearts, in terms of the type of arts that we produce. We feel like art is very, very powerful means, an important means to our goal of being liberated, specifically as Black people here in the Pittsburgh area. And so we want to thank the Wallace Foundation again for selecting us, investing us, and allowing us to bring resources to Black and brown and cultural organizers in Pittsburgh to do the work that needs to be done to make Pittsburgh a city that was called the most livable city in America, livable for all of us and not just a few. Peace, y'all. One Hood.